Morning. How was your weekend? I had the most productive weekend. Fitted lots in. A lot of driving. Lucky I love my car, hey? I want to ask you one question. And I want you to start to ask yourself as well. With everything that you do, just think before you do it or in the middle of whatever it is that you do throughout your day, why do I do it like this? Morning, Christina. Why, like you think about it, why do you prepare breakfast the way that you do? Why do you wake up the way that you do? Why do you go about your day the way that you do? Why do you speak to your children the way that you do? Why do you speak to your husband the way that you do? Just ask yourself all these questions. Why do I work the way I do? Why do I hang the washing out the way that I do? Or use the dryer, whichever. Why do I fold the way that I do? When you ask yourself these questions and just sit there and think, where did I get this from? Where did it come from? Who am I? Am I being true to me with everything that I do? Or am I carrying on habits I was taught? And that's huge. It's probably one of the biggest things that I started to look at was, okay, when I spoke to my kids, the first thing was, why do I speak to them that way? It was because I was taught that way. That's the way I was brought up. And if I wanted to change it, I had to be conscious. I had to wake up. I had to be conscious of every word that came out of my mouth. And then I had to also have some sort of maybe script or idea of how I wanted to be so that I could consciously change it. Otherwise, I was going to keep creating the same thing. And if it wasn't something that I liked, there was lots of things that I did like, don't worry. It's not I had to change my whole life or anything. I had to change the way that I thought about me. What were my thoughts about me? Before I started this work, I had a pretty low image of myself. Others couldn't see that from the outside. But the way I thought about me, the way I felt about me was a whole lot different than it is today. I thought vulnerability was a weakness. So if I was upset or sad about anything, it's something you had to do in private. We had that idea of kids were seen and not heard. So I sort of carried that through. Like I've said, I was the mouse at the back of the room. I didn't like attention to be on me. Except when I was drunk, and then I had a reason why I stood out, rather than it be my ability or something that I was worthy of. That was the reason why. And when I really started to look into me, and I thought, okay, so who do I actually want to be? Do I want to be this person that yells and screams? Do I want to be this person that was always rushed? I was always rushing from one thing to the next, and I was never present. When I was at work, I was at home in my head cooking dinner, doing the washing, and working out my day when I got home. When I was at home, I was at work the next day. Morning, Jen. Figuring out what I had to do the next day. I was never in the place that I was at, if that makes sense. Like my head wasn't in the place where I was. And then when I started to really look into, and look, I'm doing this again now, like I said to you, April is the month that I am spending on me, to work on me, to get clear on who I want to be now, because I've done a lot of work to get to here. But I want to go to here now. So I have to get clear in my head who that Polly is, who she is when she wakes up in the morning, what she does, who does she speak to, how does she speak, how does she dress, what does she wear, How does she look after herself? How does she speak to herself? Like all these things I have to take into account, and I have to work it out so that when I am in a place where it's a bit foreign and I have to be and step up and be a new person, it's like, okay, this is who I'm going to be in this moment. This is what Polly does now. This is who Polly is now, and that's who I'm going to be. Good, Jen. Good. So, like, Jenny, you'll understand, but like I think I'm up to I've got 9 pages of just areas where I'm defining who I am and who I will be turning up as and how I will turn up in these different areas of my life. And look, I know I'm not going to get it right. I know I'm going to go back to the way I am now and go, okay, we didn't do that. And you know what I'm going to do there? I'm going to go, hang on a moment, can I please have a do-over? And my kids are going to look at me like, what are you doing now, Mum? And I'll be like, can I have a do-over? Can we just pretend that didn't happen and can we start again? Because I don't want to be that way. And it's pretty simple. It's as simple as, it's easy like that. I know it was a few months ago, I was in a situation and I did not act like the Polly I wanted to be at all. Not at all. And I had to send emails and apologise for the way that I acted because it just wasn't me. The old me just came in and just took over. And it's not the person I wanted to be. Now, I could have beat myself up and stayed in that place for weeks and weeks and weeks. Instead of, I just went straight in and just sent the email straight away and said, look, I am deeply sorry. That is not who I am. It's not who I want to be. Please accept this. I should have said this. I should have done this instead. And I rewrote the way that I would have acted and let go of what I did. Yes, we're all going to screw up. We're all going to do things that we're not proud of, but it's how you deal with that. So you can deal with it and sit there and dwell in it and get all messed up in your head, or you can just go, okay, we screwed up. What do we do now? Okay. Learn from it. And that's what true learning is. Looking back and reevaluating and going, okay, this is who I truly am. This is how I would have liked to have handled this. Rectify it, do the learning, and then that's when the change is going to happen. It's when we stay there and dwell in it all and don't go about working out what we really would have liked to have happened there. And look, you can do this with everything, every single thing in your life. It is not, your life isn't set in stone. You actually create it with what you feel about you, how you react or respond in situations, and the love you have for yourself. Now, I think it shows a lot more love for yourself when you can stand up and take responsibility for what you've done, said, had happen, or anything in your life and go, okay, that's not who I want to be anymore. This is who I want to be. And you'll be able to show yourself a whole lot more love when you do that. And then it makes it so much easier. You feel better. And when you feel better, what happens? Because feeling is your point of attraction, you start attracting so many different things to you. Now, I know, like, especially as kids beat themselves up so much, and then we, like, punish them as well on top of it. It's just like, where is that getting us? Let's just bring home what you did wrong, and let's just bring it home even further. Why? Why can't we say to our kids instead, hey, if you had a do-over, what would you do different? Oh, well, I would have, blah, 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 and let them tell you. And then, because really, like, imagine you're a kid now that you're like me. I'm 45 and I did that wrong. And then my husband came in and told me all the things I did wrong. And then he says, radio, you're not allowed out of the house for another week because you did all that wrong and that you didn't do it the way you're supposed to and blah, blah, blah. Like, how badly would I beat myself up for that whole week and then probably another month to get over it? When having a do-over being able to have the space to say, okay, I would have done that a whole lot differently, and this is what I would have done, and reframe it all in your mind, and then maybe just go to the person and say, hey, this is how I would have handled that if I had been thinking. Because we don't think. We are so habitual. We just race in and just, this is how we do it. And then we feel like crap. So think about these things. I want you to start to think. And it's not easy, trust me, it is not easy to think, because 96% of our day we are in habit. We are just going through the motions and we're not present. You imagine if we all got grounded, Jenny. I think a lot of parents would not be allowed out of the house. They wouldn't have phones. They wouldn't be doing a lot of the things that they're doing. Let's change it. And it's just a simple shift. When you are given the chance to say, hey, this is what happened, and you just give yourself the chance. That's it. Give yourself the chance to do a do-over in your mind, and then go about doing that in the physical world. Because in your mind is great for you, but then when you actually put it into action, the next time you're in a situation like that, you already have the tools. You already know who you are and how you want to respond in those situations. And then you go about doing it. And it frees so much time up, because you think about it. When you stuff up, how much of your day do you spend thinking about that? How much time do you, because you're thinking about that and you're screwed up in your head and you're angry at yourself, do you then take it out on the people around you? Somebody comes into your office and says, hey, this isn't going right. Oh, blah, 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 blah. That was me, don't worry. And then you're taking that anger for yourself out on everything. And then what happens? You just, in that snowball effect, well, I didn't want to act like that then either. And then I did this, and then I did that, and then I did that. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, all night you hold on to that and you can't sleep because you're just like, write it out. Who would you actually want to be in that situation instead? Now, look, I know that telling you that you don't think is probably going to go, yeah, I do think, Polly. Ah, Zainab, hello. But I really want you to start to understand that we don't think. We are habitual creatures, and we need to be taught how to think. We actually need to unlearn what we already do and relearn the way that's in true harmony with who you really are. You are one of the most loving beings on the planet, if you allow yourself to be. And if you're coming from a place of love for yourself, and you've let go of all the crap that you've done and held on to for all these years, guess what? You come from a place of love, and then more things turn up for you to love, and life just gets better and better and better and better. Now, a lot of the things that have happened in your life are not your fault, but you think that they are. I must have done something wrong. I must have done da-da-da. How about if you just forgive yourself for everything? Everything that's happened up until this moment, right now. Forgive it. Let it all go. Cut the strings. It's all gone. You cannot change it. Then go and hop in to a new you. Create a new you. You can do that. This is what I'm doing right now. And if you want me to teach you how, ask me to. Because you know what? You get what you ask for. You get it. You say, I need help, and somebody always turns up and says, here, I'm here to help you. But you have to ask. You can't just sit in the corner like I did for so many years and expect people to know exactly what you want. Because you know what? They're all wrapped up in their own head themselves. And when you ask somebody's opinion and they're beating on themselves, guess what they're going to do? They're going to just answer you from their own place. And it's not going to be helpful for you. And remember that everybody that you've got in your world at this very moment is in harmony with your paradigm, with who you are up until this moment. And until you decide, I want to change. When you decide, okay, yep, this is it, enough is enough, then the walls come down and you actually have the opportunity to change. But then you have to act. You have to take the opportunities that arise. Otherwise, you will stay where you are and the walls will come back up again. Now, I know a lot of you in here already working with me, and I take my hats off to you, because you know what you've done? You've seen the opportunity that arose and you said, yes, I am ready. And even before you're ready, because you know what? You are never ready to change. Never. And it's a big job. But is coming from a place of love for you a much better place than coming from a place of lack or of unhappiness about all the things that you've had happen or done to yourself? It won't, Zanab. It will get better. You've started making the first step. Remember, you're only a week in. It's okay. It's okay. So love on you. Because it's the decisions from now on in that are the most important. We can't change what's back there. It's done. It's there. It's make peace with it. Let it go completely. Forgive it. Forgive yourself. Forgive everybody around you. Because it's made you the person you are today. And inside, you are strong. You are beautiful. You are the most loving being that there is. If you just allow it out. Don't stay small. Don't hide. Radiate your power. You have a unique gift, every single one of you. But conformity doesn't let that gift out. Working a day job in and out that you don't like is not going to let your gift out. It's not going to let your uniqueness out. You have to love on you. And sit quietly sometimes. Oh man, sitting quietly is the most productive thing you can do. And ask questions of yourself. Get a piece of paper and a pen and say, what do I want? And start writing. And if you want to know a way to make it all happen, give me a call. You just got to go on my website. There's my phone number. You can call me. You can text me. You can do anything with me, pretty much. Email me. And if you're not on my email list and you don't get my Monday emails, send me your email address so that I can send it to you. I'm here to help in any way that I can, but you have to ask. Ask for what you want and it will be given to you. Okay, there's a bit of my Monday message for you. I hope it's left you with an impression of increase, because I want you to know how special and wonderful you are. And that there's a huge, way better world out there waiting for every single one of us.